you mentioned classical music is it doesn't seem to be, you know, allowed to the masses sometimes, or we're not always taught that we can access classical music. But you're saying that seems kind of silly, and yet you kind of bring it back to the masses because you'll play with, you know, jeans on and tattoos and play your way and you're signed by a rock label.
I tried now. Actually, I've set up my own label now because I just think, you know, I'm a massive control freak. I want things done the right way. I don't want to think about, you know, an album cover and know that that's going to take 6 months to get approved and signed off on it. I want it done now in the way that I feel is right. And a classical, I mean, just the industry itself, it's filled with such awful people. I mean, it's just rammed full with assholes. I mean, it's just, it breaks my heart. It's just, I think of it a bit like the way people feel about bankers when the whole subprime thing started happening. It's predicated on vast levels of greed and snobbery and narcissism and why? You know, if Mozart came and saw a concert today, he'd just fall over laughing at the way it's presented and the way it's treated. And the one thing that must never change is the music. Like, it's just immortal. It's perfect. Everything else around it, I think, is up for grabs. Why is there any other genre of music in the world, in history, where people have said, okay, you have to wear a certain outfit? I mean, would you call Matt Bellamy from Muse or Chris Martin from Coldplay and say, you know, we'd love you to do a couple of nights at the O2, but you're gonna have to wear a white tie and tails because that's, you know, what we do. I mean, come on, why? Who decided that it has to be this sacred, stick up the ass kind of, God forbid you clap in the wrong place, or, you know, you cough or you make any noise, or, you know, it's so weird. So I wear what I'm comfortable in, not to make a statement, just because, I mean, why not? And I introduce the pieces from the stage. I talk about the fact that, you know, Beethoven was, he's so much more than just the deaf composer. This guy was almost beaten to death twice before he was a teenager by his drunken dad. This kid, he's 16. He takes his father to court to make sure his father's income goes direct to Beethoven so that Beethoven, this teenager, is able to feed and clothe the family because he knows his dad would just spend it on drinking. You can't imagine the shit these guys go through. And then he creates music that just, and he's deaf. I mean, come on, it's insane. So to talk about that stuff and to set up the pieces and then play them, to me, it shows, I hope, a certain amount of respect for the audience. Because most classical concerts now, I don't think they really think about the audience. It's the performer and the music, and that's it. And actually, you might as well just put on a CD and listen at home, you know, with a cigar and a glass of scotch. It's important to share things with the audience, because otherwise all that happens is that, you know, I'm playing a Beethoven sonata on stage, the lights are kind of up high, and these guys are like reading program notes about sonata form in Beethoven's Vienna. Like, come on, really? While I'm playing the fucking thing, why bother? So I like lights down. I mean, where else can we go in this day and age where we're not assaulted by commercials and tweets and Tinder and Facebook likes and, you know, reality TV, and we can just switch off and put your arm around a hot date and close your eyes and forget about the mortgage payments and the school fees and the angry ex-wives and the, you know, just the noise and everything. Just for an hour or an hour and a half can switch off.
Did you ever consider playing a different kind of music than classical because of all the hang-ups? Or was it... No, because Christ, the music is just, I mean, it's immortal. I've got no issue with crossover. I've got no issue with any other genre of music. It's just, for me, it has always been and will always be classical that just gets me going. And I think the reason for that is because it's not that one is better than the other. I've done a lot of work with music education, with kids, 9, 10-year-old kids,
And I wouldn't in a million years dare to try and convince any 9-year-old girl that somehow, you know, Chopin is better or more important than Jessie J. It doesn't work like that. It's about what works for you. And the thing with classical for me is that you can have one piece of music, whether it's 3 minutes or 30 minutes long, of classical that somehow drags us through every emotion known to man. And it's like pure, undiluted, concentrated, intense, and I love that shit. I mean, I live for that. So there's something about it that will always be, for me, incredibly special and worth exploring more, and worth getting rid of all the barriers to it. Because I don't care if people despise classical. What I care about is them being force-fed shit that isn't classical, dressed up to look like it's classical.
To watch the rest of this fascinating interview, click on the link below and go to londonreelacademy.com. There you can sign in with your social media, log in and watch the rest of the episode for free, along with all of our episodes on London Real, my webinars, and all of our premium content, all located over at londonreelacademy.com. So click on the link below, you'll be directed there and you can watch the rest of this fascinating interview, and I'll see you there.